Have you ever been ripped out of your sleep by a sudden, sharp pain in your leg? It's not just a nuisance. It's a signal, a cry from your body telling you something is out of balance. And here's the truth. That small pain, that nightly disruption, is more than just age. It's often the result of missing nutrients, weakened circulation, or nerve misfiring. But the good news is, there's something you can do, and it starts right in your kitchen. This isn't about medication or another appointment with your doctor. It's about what you're putting. In this episode of Elderly Reflections, we're diving deep into 3 everyday foods. Foods you already know, but likely haven't appreciated for what they really do. These foods are more than just tasty. They hold the key to fewer cramps, stronger muscles, and better nights. And I'm going to start with the most overlooked powerhouse of all, the egg. You know, growing up, we used to have eggs for breakfast almost every morning. Back then, we didn't call them a superfood. They were just food. But science now tells us something interesting. Eggs are one of the most complete sources of protein you can find. For seniors, especially those like me who are well into their 60s or 70s, protein is not just about muscles. It's about function. It's about independence. It's about standing up from a chair without needing help. Eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks your muscles need to repair and stay strong. One large egg gives you about 6 grams of high-quality protein. But what's really important here is how that protein helps reduce muscle fatigue, improves contraction, and keeps your body from slipping into that dreaded state of nightly cramps. The older we get, the more our muscles naturally shrink. It's called sarcopenia, and that shrinkage makes us more vulnerable to spasms and injury. Eating eggs regularly helps to slow that loss. But the benefits don't stop with protein. One of the hidden heroes in the egg is vitamin D. Most of us know vitamin D helps with bones, but it also plays a critical role in how your muscles contract and how well your nerves fire signals. Without enough vitamin D, muscles become weak, cramps become more frequent. Some folks even develop chronic pain that doctors struggle to explain. One egg yolk gives you about 40 IUs of vitamin D. That might not sound like much, considering most seniors need around 800 to 1,000 IU daily. But when you pair eggs with other vitamin D-rich foods, like fortified dairy, fatty fish like salmon, or even a supplement, you're giving your body the ammunition it needs to restore balance. And don't forget, as we get older, we spend less time outdoors, meaning our ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight drops sharply. So dietary sources become not just helpful, but essential. Now there's something else inside eggs that seniors really need to pay attention to, and that's vitamin B12. You see, B12 supports your nervous system, especially the myelin sheath, the protective layer around your nerves. When your B12 levels drop, nerve signals misfire. That leads to spasms, tingling, cramping, and even balance issues. Seniors are especially prone to B12 deficiency because our stomach acid naturally decreases as we age, making it harder to absorb the vitamin from food. On top of that, if you're taking common medications like metformin for diabetes or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, you're at even higher risk of deficiency. Eggs are a senior member way to get B12 without relying on heavy meat or processed sources. They're easier to digest, lower in saturated fat compared to red meat, and can be prepared in dozens of ways to suit your taste. Let me tell you about someone I know. Joseph, age 71, from Minnesota. He used to wake up several times a week with excruciating leg cramps. At first, he just thought it was age catching up, but after working with a dietitian, he began eating 2 eggs a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner. Within a few weeks, his nighttime cramps reduced dramatically. His balance improved. He even had more energy during the day. For Joseph, eggs weren't a cure, they were a correction. His body was running low on fuel, and eggs gave him exactly what he needed. And that story is not unique. I've heard similar experiences from seniors across the country. Now let's talk cholesterol, because I know that's a concern. Years ago, doctors warned against eating too many eggs because of the cholesterol in the yolk. But today's research tells us a different story. For most healthy seniors, eating 6 to 7 eggs per week is completely safe and does not significantly affect cholesterol levels. In fact, eggs can be a heart-healthier option compared to processed meats like bacon or sausage. Of course, if you have heart disease or very high cholesterol, you should speak with your doctor. But most seniors can enjoy eggs regularly and benefit from everything they offer. So what's the best way to eat eggs to support muscle health and reduce leg cramps? Well, I suggest incorporating them into breakfast or a light dinner. That way, your body can use the protein and nutrients overnight to repair and relax your muscles. Poached, boiled, scrambled with spinach or tomatoes. Just keep it simple and avoid too much oil or salt. If you've got blood sugar issues like diabetes, try pairing eggs with a slice of whole grain toast or a bowl of steel-cut oats. That combo gives you fiber and steady energy. Before we move on, let me pause here for a second. If this conversation is striking a chord with you, if it feels like we're talking about your story or someone you love, then I want to invite you to join our growing community here at Elderly Reflections. We're not just sharing information, we're passing along life lessons from the elderly, wisdom that deserves to be heard, and tools that help you live not just longer, but better. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story, a tip, or a small moment of inspiration. Now let's talk about a fruit that most of us already have on our kitchen counter. You peel it without thinking, eat it on the go, and maybe never realized it holds the key to smooth muscle function, electrolyte balance, and fewer nighttime spasms. I'm talking, of course, about the banana. Bananas are nature's electrolyte fix, and they're especially important for seniors who suffer from nocturnal leg cramps. You see, bananas are high in potassium, a mineral that helps regulate fluid levels, nerve signals, and muscle contractions. When potassium levels fall, your muscles become twitchy, reactive, and more prone to those sudden cramps. One medium banana gives you about 420 milligrams of potassium. That's roughly 12% of your daily needs. And for seniors who don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, or are on diuretics for high blood pressure, that potassium can be a lifesaver. Now let me tell you about Franklin. He's 75 and lives in Phoenix. After being prescribed a water pill for his blood pressure, Franklin began waking up with stabbing calf cramps nearly every night. His doctor discovered he was losing too much potassium through urination, a common side effect of diuretics. So they added a simple fix: 1 banana a day, along with more fluids. That one change made a huge difference. The cramps stopped and Franklin could sleep soundly again. Just like that, no prescription, no magic. Just a banana and some water. But bananas do more than just supply potassium. They also contain magnesium, another crucial mineral for muscle relaxation and nerve health. While not as high as nuts or seeds, bananas still offer about 32 milligrams of magnesium per serving. That little dose, added daily, can help muscles stay loose and responsive instead of tight and twitchy. Bananas also give you a nice amount of vitamin B6, which supports neurotransmitter health and helps your brain communicate more clearly with your muscles. 1 banana covers nearly 30% of your B6 needs. This is especially helpful for seniors struggling with fatigue, irritability, or slower recovery after exercise. So when is the best time to eat a banana if you're dealing with cramps? I recommend eating one an hour or two before bed. That gives your body time to absorb the potassium and magnesium and begin relaxing those overworked leg muscles. Just make sure you're also drinking water. Electrolytes only work well when the body is properly hydrated. Some folks even like to pair their banana with coconut water, which adds a natural source of sodium and additional minerals to the mix. If you've got diabetes, be mindful of the natural sugars in bananas. Eat them alongside fiber-rich foods like nuts or whole grain toast to stabilize your blood sugar. Bananas are gentle on the stomach, easy to chew, and don't require cooking. And sometimes, that's what makes them perfect for seniors. They travel well, ripen naturally, and can be used in smoothies, cereal, or even frozen as a dessert treat. But more than anything, bananas bring balance. And balance, as we know, is everything in senior health. If you found this valuable, please hit the like button. It really helps us reach more seniors with tools for healthier, happier lives. And tell me, where are you watching from? Leave a comment below. I love hearing your stories, from small towns in Iowa to the coast of Florida, from Texas ranches to New York City apartments. This is Elderly Reflections, and your voice matters here. So now that we've covered the power of eggs and bananas, it's time to talk about something smaller, crunchier, and often forgotten in conversations about senior health: nuts and seeds. These little gems don't look like much. They don't scream superfood like berries do, and they don't have the comforting warmth of a morning egg. But trust me, what they lack in size, they more than make up for in impact, especially when it comes to leg cramps, muscle recovery, and keeping your circulation flowing. And here's why. Nuts and seeds are rich in two of the most important minerals for seniors, magnesium and potassium. Both of these play a vital role in muscle function. And let me tell you, they become tight, overactive, prone to twitching and spasms. Sound familiar? Well, that's not just age, that's often deficiency. Magnesium helps your muscles relax. It works alongside potassium to ensure that every contraction is followed by a proper release. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can cramp, your sleep can suffer, and your nerves can go haywire. And unfortunately, most seniors aren't getting enough. Whether it's from reduced appetite, digestive issues, or medications that interfere with absorption. Magnesium deficiency is one of the sneakiest causes of chronic discomfort in older adults. But here's the good news. Pumpkin seeds are one of the highest natural sources of magnesium, about 168 milligrams per ounce. That's 40% of your daily needs just from a small snack. Almonds come in next with about 77 milligrams, followed closely by cashews at 74. So if you're someone who enjoys a little crunch between meals, you could be doing your muscles a huge favor. Now, let's talk potassium. While most people think of bananas as the go-to source, you'd be surprised to learn how much potassium hides inside nuts. Pistachios contain about 290 milligrams of potassium per ounce. Almonds have around 200. Cashews give you 160. These aren't just random numbers. They're the nutrients that help your body manage fluid, balance electrolytes, and keep your muscles calm instead of chaotic. And don't forget, seniors often lose electrolytes more quickly, especially if you're sweating more than usual, taking water pills, or drinking too little water throughout the day. That's where nuts and seeds step in. Let me share a story about Walter, a retired firefighter from Oregon, now 76 years old. After decades of physical labor, his joints were worn and his legs would often cramp late at night or even during short walks. He tried massage, he tried stretching, but nothing helped consistently. One day, his daughter gave him a small container of mixed nuts, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and walnuts, and asked him to eat a handful every afternoon. 3 weeks later, Walter called her and said, "Hey, I haven't had a leg cramp in days." It wasn't magic, it was minerals. The magnesium was calming his muscles. The healthy fats were reducing inflammation. The potassium was stabilizing his nerve signals. And just like that, his nights were easier. His walks were smoother. That's the quiet power of nutrition. But it doesn't stop there. Nuts and seeds aren't just about minerals. They're also loaded with healthy fats, especially omega-3s and monounsaturated fats. These fats improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and support blood vessel function. That's a big deal, because poor circulation is another major contributor to muscle cramps, especially at night when your body is lying still. Think about it. If blood isn't flowing well, your muscles aren't getting enough oxygen. They tighten up, they spasm, and suddenly you're awake at 2 a.m. again. Omega-3s, especially from walnuts and flax seeds, help open up those vessels and improve flow. Monounsaturated fats from almonds and cashews support heart health, which in turn improves circulation system-wide. So if you're dealing with cold hands, tingling feet, or legs that just won't relax, adding a mix of nuts to your routine could make all the difference. There's also a powerful anti-inflammatory effect that comes with eating nuts. Chronic inflammation is one of the root causes of muscle pain, fatigue, and cramping in seniors. But nuts contain antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in your tissues, making recovery faster and discomfort less intense. For seniors who live with arthritis or chronic muscle soreness, this is not a small thing. It's a daily victory. You don't need to eat a bag of nuts to see the benefits. In fact, moderation is key. 1 ounce a day, that's about a small handful, is enough. That's roughly 20 almonds or 2 tablespoons of seeds. It's easy to add that to your routine. Sprinkle chia seeds or ground flax on your oatmeal. Add pumpkin seeds to your salad. Snack on cashews with a slice of apple in the afternoon. Better yet, make it a habit. Your muscles will thank you. Now, of course, there are some cautions. Nuts are calorie dense, so don't go overboard. And if you're watching your sodium, skip the salted varieties. Choose raw or dry roasted whenever possible. Also, be mindful of any allergies or digestive sensitivities. Some seniors may experience bloating from high-fiber foods, so start slow and see how your body responds. And if chewing is difficult, try nut butters or finely ground seeds. They're just as effective and easier to digest. Let me tell you about Diane, a 73-year-old yoga instructor from Colorado. She's always been health conscious, but recently started struggling with muscle fatigue and leg tension during her classes. She added a few tablespoons of ground flaxseed to her morning smoothie and started snacking on walnuts in the evening. After a month, her flexibility improved, her energy came back, the cramps, gone. She says she feels more in tune with her body now than she did a decade ago. Sometimes, the simplest changes make the biggest difference. Let's talk about what really brings it all together: daily habits. Because food works best when paired with lifestyle. And if we're not careful, there are small things we do or don't do every single day that can quietly undo all the progress we've made. So let's start with the most overlooked habit of all: water. I know it sounds simple. Drink more water. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. But let me ask you something real. The truth is, our thirst sensation decreases as we age. That means by the time we feel thirsty, we're already dehydrated. And that's a problem, especially when it comes to muscle cramps. You see, your muscles are like engines. They need hydration to run smoothly. Without enough fluids, your electrolyte balance gets thrown off. That's when potassium and magnesium can't do their job. That's when muscles cramp, seize, and leave you in pain. And it gets worse at night. Because when your body is at rest, it's also processing fluids. If you went to bed underhydrated, your muscles may pay the price while you sleep. Let me tell you about Clara. 80 years old, lives in a small town in Georgia. She kept a log of everything she ate and drank for 1 week after her doctor told her she was showing signs of chronic dehydration. What she found shocked her. She was only drinking about 3 glasses of water a day, barely half of what her body needed. So she made a rule: drink a glass when she wakes up, 1 with every meal, and 1 before bed. In just 10 days, her leg cramps dropped by more than half. Her digestion improved. She even started sleeping better. No pills, no complicated changes, just water. That's the power of hydration. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses a day. And remember, if you're drinking coffee or taking water pills, you'll need even more. You can also hydrate through food. Water-rich fruits like oranges, watermelon, and cucumber can add to your intake without you even noticing. Now let's talk about what to avoid. Because yes, certain foods and habits can actually trigger or worsen cramps in seniors, even if you're eating all the right things. Number 1 on that list: high sodium. Salt may taste good, but too much of it can throw your body's fluid balance out of whack. And when your sodium is too high and your potassium is too low, cramps become far more likely. Watch out for processed meats, canned soups, packaged snacks, and salted nuts. Choose low-sodium versions when possible, and balance salty meals with potassium-rich sides like sweet potatoes or leafy greens. Second, sugar. High sugar intake, especially from sodas, candies, or pastries, can cause inflammation and disrupt insulin function. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes, it can lead to nerve misfiring, energy loss, and you guessed it, more cramps. For seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes, this becomes even more critical. Instead of reaching for a sweet treat, try a banana with almond butter or a few dates with walnuts. That way you satisfy your craving without sacrificing your health. Third, alcohol and caffeine. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your morning coffee or your occasional glass of wine, but both alcohol and caffeine act as diuretics. They increase fluid loss and contribute to dehydration. If you're drinking coffee, make sure to pair it with water. If you're having a glass of wine in the evening, don't forget to hydrate before bed. It's not about restriction, it's about awareness. There's another common culprit that rarely gets mentioned: lack of movement. Yes, inactivity is one of the biggest triggers of nighttime cramps. And unfortunately, many seniors spend long hours sitting, watching TV, resting, or simply avoiding movement due to fear of falling. But when your legs stay still too long, blood flow slows down. Muscles stiffen, tissues become starved for oxygen. That's a recipe for cramping. You don't need a gym membership or a fancy routine, just gentle movement throughout the day. Try walking around the house every hour. Do a few simple stretches before bed. Elevate your legs in the evening to help circulation. These tiny habits create big changes. Even rocking your ankles in circles while sitting can keep blood flowing to your feet. Let me share a quick story about Bernard, 79 years old, retired postman. He thought because he'd been active all his life, his muscles would stay strong forever. But once he stopped moving daily, his legs began cramping every night. After watching an interview with a geriatric doctor, he began a new routine: a banana and water in the evening, a 10-minute walk after dinner, and light stretches before bed. Within 3 weeks, the cramps stopped. Bernard said, "I didn't need to take a pill. I just had to treat my body like it still mattered." And he's right. It still does. Another tip that might surprise you: your sleep position. Seniors who sleep with their toes pointed downward, like a ballerina, may be unknowingly triggering calf cramps. Try sleeping with your feet in a neutral or slightly upward position. Some seniors even use a rolled towel under the ankles to keep their feet from pointing down. Small change, big results. Now here's a bonus for those who want to go the extra mile. Epsom salt baths. These are a classic remedy for sore muscles. And with good reason. Epsom salts are made of magnesium sulfate, which can be absorbed through the skin. A 20-minute soak before bed can relax your legs, ease tightness, and improve your sleep. Just make sure the water isn't too hot, and check with your doctor if you have blood pressure or heart issues. If baths aren't your thing, try a warm compress or magnesium lotion rubbed into your calves before bed. So, let's bring it all together. You've got the food, eggs, bananas, nuts, and seeds. You've got the hydration plan: at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, plus water-rich foods. You've got the lifestyle tweaks: watching sodium, cutting back on sugar and alcohol, gentle movement throughout the day, smart sleeping habits, and maybe even a relaxing soak at night. That's a holistic approach. That's how we stop treating cramps like a mystery and start solving them. I know aging isn't easy. I know it comes with changes we didn't ask for, but you are not powerless. You are not stuck. These choices may seem small, but they add up. They give you back your nights, they restore confidence, they return peace, and maybe most importantly, they remind you that your health is still worth fighting for. You still matter. Your comfort still matters. Your strength still matters. Before we end, I want to thank you for walking this journey with me. If today's video gave you insight, comfort, or a moment of motivation, let us know. Click the like button. Leave a comment. Where are you watching from? What changes have you tried? What would you like us to cover next? Your voice helps shape this community, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to Elderly Reflections and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story, a health tip, or a bit of elderly wisdom to carry into your day.